Have you ever met someone who just seems to have it? You know, they walk into a room and without saying a single word, they instantly have this magnetic pull. Listen, you know exactly the type of person I'm talking about. They might not necessarily be the most conventionally attractive person there, but I guarantee within 5 minutes of talking to them, you are totally hooked.
Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely pumped to jump into today's topic, because here's the fascinating reality. Charm is not magic. It's really not. It's not some mysterious aura you're either lucky enough to be born with or you just aren't. As we're going to see today, it is actually a highly replicable, specific set of psychological behaviors.
Okay, so let's dive right into our roadmap. We're breaking down this complex phenomenon into a clear 4-step psychological toolkit. First up, the myth of charm, then the locomotion mindset shift, the power of responsiveness, establishing rapid common ground, the vocal authority factor, and finally bringing it all together in the art of connection.
All right, part 1, the myth of charm and demystifying that so-called X factor.
We usually just throw our hands up at that elusive X factor, like it completely defies explanation, right? But science tells a totally different, highly actionable story. Charm fundamentally isn't about, casting a spell over a room. It's actually just the ability to flip a psychological switch in someone else's brain. You are literally taking their brain out of a judging mode and popping it straight into a connecting mode.
Moving on to step 1 of our toolkit, the locomotion mindset shift, or the internal mechanics.
To really grasp this, we got to look at our brain's baseline state. Think about the last time you met someone new, maybe at a networking event or a party. Most of the time, we're stuck in what's called an assessment mindset. We're analytical, we're critical, kind of trying to figure out if we even like the person. It's a very diagnostic, honestly sometimes awkward state to be in. Well, a charmer's greatest trick is that they pull you right out of that defensive posture and drop you directly into a locomotion mindset. And this mindset, it's all about flow, affirmation, and support. It just feels incredibly smooth and deeply rewarding.
Researchers actually define this locomotion orientation as a focus on the initiation and maintenance of desired actions. Look, simply put, charmers make the interaction feel totally seamless. They aren't trying to make you judge them. Their entire focus is literally just keeping the conversational flow moving forward so you feel 100% supported and comfortable.
Which brings us to step 2, the power of responsiveness. This is the core engine.
And this right here is the true heart of charm. It all comes down to perceived responsiveness, basically making the other person feel that you really get the real them. In live interactions, get this, it is the single biggest predictor of attraction. It's not about having the punchiest jokes or the absolute coolest stories. It's just the art of making the person in front of you feel truly, deeply seen. So how do they do it? Charismatic people rely heavily on 3 things: understanding, validation, and caring. Picture a charmer talking to you at a loud, chaotic event. They aren't just politely waiting for their turn to speak while scanning the room over your shoulder. No way. They validate your perspective and show genuine care, proving they truly value your opinions in that exact moment. It's like you're the only person in the room. When you stack those 3 pillars together, it builds into what researchers call mutual cyclical growth. This is an immensely powerful feedback loop. Because they seem so hyper-responsive to you, you naturally become more attracted to their presence. And because you're attracted, you become more responsive, right back to them. The whole charm offensive literally mathematically reinforces itself the longer you both engage. It's brilliant.
Okay, step 3, establishing rapid common ground, otherwise known as socially shared cognition.
Listen, charmers act like absolute heat-seeking missiles for commonalities. By actively hunting for this shared ground, whether that's mutual friends, a weird niche hobby, or similar life experiences, they effectively hack our evolutionary stranger danger response. They utilize that socially shared cognition to rapidly establish a baseline of, hey, we are the same, which instantly tears down those defensive walls we naturally build up around strangers. The ultimate goal here is turning M and you into us. They're forging a powerful, unified identity right out of the gate. Seriously, highly charming people manage to pull this off before the first drink of the night is even finished. It's wild.
Moving on to step 4, the vocal authority factor and the halo effect.
This final piece of the puzzle focuses on the subtle, almost subconscious physical tools used to command respect.
Research consistently shows that both men and women will actually deliberately lower their vocal pitch when they want to sound more dominant, knowledgeable, successful, and high status. It's this deep biological cue for respectability that our brains just pick up on instantly.
And that lower pitch automatically triggers the halo effect. If you aren't familiar, this is the brain's quick assumption that if someone sounds confident and authoritative, well, they must also inherently be kind, intelligent, and totally trustworthy. When you combine that resonant, grounded tone with the warm, validating attitude we were just talking about, our brains instantly process the entire package as absolute trustworthiness.
It creates this perfect mix, a cocktail of authority and approachable safety. This specific, perfectly balanced concoction makes the charmer's presence almost entirely impossible for anyone to resist. You feel protected and respected, all at the exact same time.
And that brings us to our final section, the art of connection, and bringing this whole toolkit together.
By looking at these 4 steps in sequence, we completely demystify the so-called magic of charisma, don't we? Charm is really just a process that moves people from critical judgment over to spontaneous engagement. It utilizes active responsiveness, it rapidly finds common ground, and ultimately, it's about making the person across from you feel like the most interesting person in the entire room. This proves that charm isn't some genetic lottery you win at birth. It's an art of engagement that absolutely anyone can learn and practice.
Now, do you want to know why simply seeing someone more often can actually make you fall in love with them? It's crazy, but true. You have to check out our next explainer on the mere exposure effect. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss it. But before you go, I want to leave you with a quick thought. Who is the most charming person you've ever met? Hit the comments and tell me all about their specific secret weapons. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, get out there and start practicing that perceived responsiveness. See ya!